Hello, St. Thomas Academy, and welcome to the Cadet Football Show. I'm your host, Mike Maxwell, and to my left, as always, is head football coach Dan O'Brien. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's been I think this is week number 5, so we're doing good here. Congratulations on another nice win, 48-13 over Hastings. Give us your thoughts on the game.
Well, I would tell you this. I was concerned going in, with the emotion that we spent in the Cretan game and homecoming and all that sort of stuff. But I thought we had a decent week of practice, so I did feel good about that. As far as the game itself, I thought we did a nice job on offense. We had 525 yards, which that's a lot of yards in a high school football game. So real pleased with that. Particularly, we threw the ball much better than we did against Cretan. So I was real pleased with that. I was pleased with the special teams. And I was pleased, Mike, with the defense for about 3.5 quarters of the game. We had a couple of plays that I wish we could have back from a defensive standpoint. But overall, it's a win. It's hard to get wins. Everybody's gunning for you, it seems like. And they played us well. And to their credit, they didn't give up. And they do have a couple athletes on the outside that we talked about last week that had some speed. So overall, pleased the fact that we got a win. And as always, there's things we need to clean up this week.
Yep, for sure. So you had a little bit of a scare in the first half. Xavion Hart went down with a little bit of an injury. Tell us what happened there.
Well, he got hit on the knee.
Okay.
And when I went out there, he was in a lot of pain. And I thought, oh, geez, is this an ACL, a PCL, an MCL? What are we dealing with here?
Right.
Fortunately, it was just a scare for him. The trainer said, hey, all the ligaments seem fine. He came off, and we kept him on a couple of series and rested him through halftime. And third quarter, he was ready to go. And I think he was a little disappointed, maybe in himself, but he certainly ran hard and ran angry the second half, which was great to see.
Yeah, you sure did. Did your heart sink a little bit when he went down? No pun intended, or maybe pun intended.
Yeah. Well, anytime like somebody's down, you're concerned, right? That's the first thing. He's one of your players, and to us as coaches, they're like our own kids at this point.
For sure.
But anytime a running back grabs his knee, there's something that does grab you, by the pit of your stomach. And he was holding on to that knee, and that's the first thing you think of. Hey, is this a season-ending knee injury? And that was the first thing that went through my mind. But as I saw the trainer work on that knee a little bit, I could see that everything looked pretty tight. Unfortunately, that it was. Good.
Yeah, we're glad to see him come back and come back strong. So as you suggested, I agree with this. Your offense was solid, really grinding it out all night. And as you also said, the passing game came alive this week. You promised that last week, so we were glad to see that. A couple of stats for you. You probably know these already, but 14 of 19 for 164 yards. And what I liked was 9 different receivers caught the ball. I think that's pretty good. A couple of guys really caught my eye, though. Luke Dobbs, 4 catches for 67 yards. And then the tight end, Jordan Wold. Right. He's a big target. I love to see that. Tell us what you think about those guys, and again, your passing game overall.
Well, Luke is a fantastic receiver. He's not a run past your receiver like Grady O'Neal was last year, but he runs fantastic routes, and he has fantastic hands. And I had to deal with the quarterbacks. We were going to throw the ball until we had a drop. We were going to start the game throwing it, and I think we ended up with 4. Before we ended up with a drop, and I think 2 or 3 of those went to Luke. So fantastic kid. He's just a junior. We're excited about him and to see his growth as a football player. And Jordan, I've been wanting to get the tight end more involved. I think the tight end is an underused weapon in high school football for sure. And he's athletic, and he had some nice catches. He had a touchdown, which I was great to see. But the thing that was most impressive about Jordan on Friday night was his blocking. He had some guys in the secondary that he was running to the point where I said, hey, just back off it a little bit. I'm worried we're maybe going to get flagged on some of that.
Right.
But just a fantastic night for him, and excited for him as well.
Yeah, that's good. I like to see that Big Ten and worked into the game plan. So, all right, let's switch over to defense. Gave up 13 points. That's the most all season. We got to give some credit to the Hastings guys. Number 10, I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to stick with number 10 and number 32, the running back. They outstanding athletes, and number 10's got some wheels. But Did you feel like the defense came out a little complacent after we went up 28-0?
Yeah, in the second half, I thought we could have tackled better. And he ran a slant, and our pursuit angles, he got the slant on us, first of all. We're supposed to take away that inside release. We didn't get that piece done. And he caught it. We should have had some help over the top with the safety to be there to make that tackle once the ball was caught. But, he's fast, and we talked about that last week. And, they got one on us, and the way we play defense, we're aggressive with our defense. We're going to give some of those up once in a while. And we did this week, and so we just got to learn from it. And then on the other touchdown, we should have tackled them. It was plain and simple. We had a couple of guys that missed it, and we had a little friendly fire on that. I think one of our guys may have knocked off a second tackler coming in, knocked off the first guy that had him. But nonetheless, we need to get him on the ground. That's our job. Defense is to tackle, and we've done a nice job so far this year. We need to learn from that and grow, and we're going to certainly need it this week.
Absolutely, and I will give them some credit. They locked it down pretty well after that second touchdown. I'm guessing there was a little motivational talk on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Springer probably got in the ear a little bit and then said, "Hey, that's enough." And then, the standard is a standard, and the expectations remain the same no matter what, whether we're in the first quarter or we're in the last quarter, or whether it's the first guys or we have sophomores out there. The expectation is, we tackle them, they don't score.
Yep. Absolutely, that's awesome. Let's move on to the players of the game. So,
awesome.
How about on offense?
Offense is Jordan Wool, the tight end. We talked about him a little bit earlier.
Right.
He was our player of the game again. He had some nice catches, but primarily did just a fantastic job blocking this week, and so he is our offensive player of the game.
Okay. How about on defense?
Defense is Mark Rogalski.
Okay.
Mark's been nicked up all year. He's had
Yeah.
not one ankle, but two ankles issues that he's dealing with. Number 6, which we haven't really talked much about, their number 6, he was their primary target. So we had Mark move with number 6, wherever number 6 lined up, Mark took him and did a fantastic job. He had one catch for the night for about 6 yards. So fantastic job by Mark. And he was physical. He was on the stat sheet with some tackles and some pass breakups. So Mark Rogalski's defensive player of the week.
All right, good choice. How about on special teams?
Special teams, we honored George Stevican this week. George has snapped for us all year long, hasn't had a bad snap. Hopefully that won't jinx him. But they're critical. Of course, a punt snap's a bad snap, but a punt or a block punt can change the momentum of the game in a second. And of course, our extra points, those snaps are critical. That's every single time we do that, we expect to score, that point with the snap and the kick. And George has been fantastic.
All right, well, and I like George because he's not only a long snapper, but he's also a defensive back, and those were the two things I did when I was in high school.
It's a unique combination.
It is. Sure. It is. So I like that choice. And then how about the grinder?
The grinder this week goes to Teddy Knapp.
Okay.
And Teddy last week got stepped on and has a pretty bad left calf. He got a bad calf bruise that he got early in the Cretan game. And he toughed it out through the entire game. Of course, he had a little extra motivation, a little adrenaline. He was going against his buddies from St. Paul and Nativity, and toughed it out. Had a week of practice. We kind of held him out most of the week. He started practicing probably on Wednesday. Did a little bit on Tuesday, not much on Monday, but was still sore. He was sore this week, and he never complained, never said a word. Said he wanted to practice, and he was a grinder. He was grinding through an injury and had a nice night blocking a pretty tough kid against Hastings. So Teddy Knapp is their grinder.
All right, I like that. So the win brings you to 4-0. You're halfway through the regular season. Is the team progressing kind of like you and the coaches have planned to?
Yeah, I think we are. I think that we'll learn a lot more about us this week against a really good Irondale team.
Yep.
But yeah, I always want to be better. I want to do things better. I want to continue to work on our depth. O-line, D-line depth, we need to continue to work on that. And our defensive backs, we need to continue to improve our coverages. So there's always things to work on. But gosh, we won 4 times out of 4 tries. Who wouldn't take that?
Right. A lot of teams in Minnesota right now.
For sure.
So by my calculations, you got about 13 practices before the regular season finale against Tartan. Does that change your approach to how you practice, or is it just business as usual?
No, it does change a little bit. What I try to do as we get towards the end of the season, bodies are breaking down, bodies are wearing down, so I'll cut practice a little bit shorter. We'll take maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes off of practice, or maybe even more than that. In some particular cases, depending on what day of the week it is, each day of the week is a little bit different with the way that we do it. But as we get closer towards the end of the season, we want to save on the bodies a little bit, so we will make our practice a little bit shorter.
Okay, good. So let's turn our attention to this week's game. You've alluded to it a couple of times. You feel like this is going to be a bit of a challenge for you. Irondale comes to St. Thomas this week. They've got a 2-2 record, but they've lost to two ranked teams in Armstrong, who at least according to Max Preps is number 4, and Spring Lake Park, who's number 11. Tell us what you know about Irondale.
Well, they've got they're athletic. Last year, Mike, we played was a 28-14 game, and that one wasn't. I didn't feel comfortable with that one last year until mid-late fourth quarter.
Yeah.
When it started to rain.
Yeah,
I felt a little better, but they're very athletic. They've got an excellent running back who's got some college offers. They've got 2 huge offensive linemen, defensive linemen guys play both ways that have offers. One is committed to Northern Illinois, which is a Division I school in the MAC conference, so he's a really good player, and they're physical. So they play a little bit like us. They're going to play downhill. They're going to come at us. On defense, they provide a little bit of a challenge for us. They're an option team, which we haven't seen so far this year. We've kind of seen the same offense out of the first 4 opponents for the most part. So it'll be an interesting practice week, a fun practice week. Again, something different for the guys to work on and do. But I expect a close game and a physical game, and we're going to absolutely need to be ready to go if we're going to be successful in this one on Friday night.
All right, sounds good. So coming out of the Hastings game, of course, there's always things to work on. What are the 1 or 2 things you guys are working on this week to prepare for Irondale?
Well, we had penalties again. We had some penalties that I didn't feel good about. We're going to work on our tackling on the defensive side of the ball, our pass coverage as well. And on offense, we got some ball security pieces that I want to work on. We did have 2 turnovers again, and our goal is 0 every single game.
Right.
So we'll continue to work on ball security things. And I want to continue to develop our passing game. If we can continue to develop our passing game, that's only going to make our 2 running backs, 3 running backs even that much more effective.
Agreed. And then what do you hope to see from the boys when they take the field on Friday?
I want to see a consistent effort for 48 minutes. I want us to see us come in and have an intensity. We're playing at home. We love playing at home. We love our home crowd, and we have all the boys in the stands, so we're fired up about that piece of it. But just a good, hard effort. We compete from whistle to whistle, and we forget about the scoreboard a little bit. Let's just go play football and let things happen to see where we end up.
All right, that sounds great. I'm sure you'll have them ready to go.
So try.
Coach, thanks for talking a little cadet football with me today. I look forward to doing it again next week.
Sounds great.
All right. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
So your cadet football team will play the Irondale Knights on Friday evening. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. The game will be played here at St. Thomas Academy in Gerry Brown Stadium. Tickets can be purchased online, so you can avoid the lines, but they will also be available at the gate. We'll add the link below so you can get your tickets ahead of time. And if you're unable to make it but would like to watch it live, you can do so at cadetbroadcast.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Go Cadets.